All right, hi everyone. Welcome to Creep It Real OC Expo's Haunters Hall panel. Today we are going to be speaking with haunts around Southern California. We're super excited. Today we have Pirates Cave Haunt. We have Jacob and Dave Larson. We have Gian Bello from Bello's Haunt. We have Michael Fernandez from 1870 Haunt Manor. And last but not least, guys, we have Mason and Joe from Corona Haunt. So welcome, guys.
Welcome.
We're going to get into the nitty gritty. You know, being a Halloween expo, we have partnered with all of these haunts around Southern California, and we've been dying to know what's going on. Where did they get their start? What inspired them to do what they're doing? And let's begin. So, first of all, we can start with Bellows. Who or what inspired you to become a haunter?
No one really directly inspired me to be a haunter, but just designing and building attractions always been like my life goal. Like that's my end, like the career I want to pursue. So I feel like this helps me express myself creatively and will help me like grow background for when I want to follow that career.
And weren't you saying that you have wanted to join a program at USC that
Yes.
falls in that same category?
Yeah, TEA at USC, which is a themed entertainment association, I believe.
Nice. Yeah, that will definitely help you streamline into that. How about you guys, Pirates Cave?
Oh, what inspired me? Just, trick-or-treating around my neighborhood when we're growing up. I was just always impressed with the houses that would go to a little extra effort, I remember this one in particular, this woman opened the door and you could only see her silhouette. She looked like Elvira, and it was just so spooky and so well done. I just was so appreciative that they went to that extra mile to make Halloween more exciting, and I decided, I want to do that, because Halloween's the only time where people are going to come up to your door and ring the doorbell, and you might as well make it fantastic.
That's right. I agree with that. And I think that's how we got inspired by Halloween, is the same sort of thing with this story with somebody spooking you.
Yeah, you're right. It's unique in that Halloween is the one opportunity where you've got, when else are you going to have guests that can come over and visit, because it's the whole holiday invites people to go roam, and now it's expanded into obviously the whole month or month and a half or whatever. But I remember when I was growing up, I was always very into Disney, and so it's that theatrical experience. It's an environment, an experience, and we would go into these, in my neighborhood, it's this haunted house. I'm like, wow, I love going to theme parks, but this is right where I live, and somebody's doing stuff that has cool like set pieces and lighting and sound effects, and that's like, I love that experience of going into a themed type of environment. It's really cool that you can kind of flex that creative muscle of yours.
Yeah.
Right. And Michael, what inspired you to become a home haunter?
It really started a couple years ago when I started to be a scare actor. I wanted to do that, it seemed really fun. And I just kind of reached out to other haunts to see if they'd hire a minor, just for a couple of days to scare. And none really got back to me, which I understand, they're busy. But I said, why don't I just build my own? And I did, and just went from there.
That's so awesome. I love how you just made it happen.
Yeah, do it.
And then Mason and Joe, how about you guys? What inspired you?
For me, it's like a lot of you guys like the spirit of Halloween and theme parks in general. Like, again, with that creation, like, what can I do? How can I recreate that? So just start from there, and boom, that's history.
Yeah.
What he said.
Nice. All right. How about you, Mason? Was there a moment of inspiration that got you into what you're doing now?
I think the first visit I made to Halloween Horror Nights in 2012. That's when I came back home after the event. The next morning, I woke my dad up and said, "I'm putting a maze in the backyard."
What was Dad's reaction?
He's like, "What? What are you doing?" I said, "We're putting a maze in the backyard."
But did you do it
Here we are.
Did you do something that year, or was it the following year that you put?
Yeah, we did something in 2012. Crazy, right then and there, and he had a lot of help with it too. So that was super cool. He actually helped me get it together,
Right.
and then we got basically just built from there.
That's so awesome. And then Michael, what about a moment of inspiration that got you into what you're doing now?
Definitely Knott's. When I first went to Scary Farm, I was hooked.
How old were you saying when you first went to Knott's? You said you were pretty young.
I'm 16 and a half now, and I think I was 14, so it wasn't too long ago, honestly.
Wow, this is the future of haunters, everyone. These guys are young, but they are fierce leaders in their communities, and they're going to be taking your haunts places, and one day you will know about these haunts, you guys. So how about Gian, Bello from Bello's Haunts?
Yeah. Just seeing like how things are made, like just watching a lot behind the scenes, I'm like, I want to try and make this.
Yeah.
And like, cause not that long ago, but 2018, I went to my first theme park haunt, which was Horror Nights, which like changed my view. Or like, okay, I could do bigger things. Let's try to shoot for that.
Nice, I love it. That's kind of how Mason started too. And then how about Jacob and Dave?
My inspiration personally was watching him all my years growing up, just have the haunt setting up, and I would occasionally act in the maze that we had. And every year I started helping out more and more. And now this year I think I can officially say that we've caught up to each other. I programmed the show this year. I edited together our announcement video and all this other stuff. But I think watching him was my main inspiration.
And he's doing the social media marketing, he's really stepped up his game. I'm really proud of him.
Nice.
Excellent.
That's so awesome.
And Jacob, you're 16 as well?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then Gian, you're also 16, right?
Yes.
So we have a
love
bunch of
seeing all this.
16-year-olds here. Mason and Joe, I know you guys are not 16, but
I wouldn't started that young.
I did. I started when I was young.
so you guys did start that young.
I did. He did.
Okay.
Wasn't there yet.
Okay. All right. So let's get into what is your favorite horror movie?
Oh.
So let's start with Corona Haunt,
Mine's gonna be Halloween, the original John
the
Carpenter.
traditional Halloween.
Halloween, and secondly, it'd probably be close winter would be Trick or Treat. Those
Right.
two.
It can also be a Halloween movie too. It doesn't have to be horror.
I was gonna say Trick or Treat. It just puts me in the mood for Halloween.
Nice. And then Michael, how about you?
I'm not a big movie watcher, but if I had to pick one, probably be The Conjuring. I don't know, I like the
Oh,
movie.
that's a good one. And then how about Gian?
Mine would be between Rob Zombie's House of a Thousand Corpses or Nightmare Before Christmas.
Good old classic. I would say that's probably your favorite, right?
Yeah, it's had its resurrection in recent years because of our kids. But it's like it could be Easter and we could be watching that movie. The kids want to watch that stuff all the time. So yeah, it's definitely near and dear.
I would say my favorite was Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's probably like the first horror movie I ever saw, but it's like the one that stood out the most. It's pretty classic. And then how about you, Jacob?
My personal favorite is The Shining.
Shining, and then Dave?
My favorite is Aliens.
Oh, yes.
I'm a big sci-fi guy.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about our haunt community. Some of you were inspired by Universal Halloween Horror Nights or Not Scary Farm. But what was your favorite, or what is your favorite theme park haunt, and why?
The only theme park haunt I've been to was Halloween Horror Nights, but one that I've been to, not like to the haunt event, but I've been in the park when they have everything decorated, is a defunct park. I think Corona Haunt might know it. It's called Scandia Fright. It was located in Ontario. Their last year was in 2018. Their most popular maze was the Wuss Maker. And
Wuss Maker, that's nice.
yeah, so that's like one of my top, like, I always look up to that maze.
Oh, nice. That's a good answer. How about you, Michael?
For sure Knott's. Again, I'm sorry. It tops all of them, in my opinion.
Do you think you would ever want to audition to become a haunt actor for Knott's, or continue focusing on your haunt?
If I'm gonna work at Knott's, it's gonna be behind the scenes, not as an actor. That's for sure.
In a creative way.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, because that does take up your whole season. I mean, you got to pick and choose what you want to do because
Right.
it's a short season, really.
And then how about you, Jacob and Dave?
For me, it was Scary Farm. I started going back in 2015.
Wow.
Yeah, the first maze I've ever been through was Paranormal Inc., and it just blew me away the first time I walked in there. That was insane. And it changed my image of haunts, like, for the better.
Yeah, and I'm the same. Yeah, I favor Knott's. You know, a very, very close second is Halloween Horror Nights. But I think for me, Knott's has the edge for two reasons. Because the whole park is scary, you know, at Knott's, where Halloween Horror Nights is only sections, you know, and also they tend to be a little more creative. They're not kind of stuck to certain, you know, properties like movies and things like that. They can explore a lot of different elements.
I'm gonna add that you feel more immersed at Knott's, definitely.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think so.
And you've been to Universal Halloween Horror Nights?
Yeah, I did.
But why do you feel more immersed?
I feel because I'm gonna add to that. There's certain parts in Halloween Horror Nights where it's not decorated, where you just feel like
Black walls.
you're right.
Black wall, yeah.
Not too all immersed because it's all decorated. It's all there. You know?
Yeah. I remember the first thing that I went to was Halloween Horror Nights. That was the first time I went through a maze where they had this fog, and the fog has a very distinct smell to it. And I remember going like, wow, that was just. Now I always associate the smell of fog with that first experience in a theme park doing that. It was just really cool. You know, it's everywhere. It was all throughout the whole park. They just had fog, and you just throw some colored lights on it. And they got some guy with a chainsaw. It's spooky, but yeah, that's pretty fun.
And then how about Joe and Mason? I think I know the answer to this one.
Honestly, like, I would still probably go with Halloween Horror Nights. I love the depth that Not Scary Farm has. I think what I love most about Halloween Horror Nights is the set design and like how I feel immersed into that specific movie. Whereas, Knott's, obviously they have the advantage where they have all their original mazes, which we're suckers for original mazes, and them being able to show their creativity with their original mazes is like, it goes back and forth for me, because then I get the scare factor from Halloween Horror Nights. I'm a sucker for strobe and sound. That's sorry. strobe and sound. That's what I love, because it's a very classic jump scare. You get the strobe, you get the scare. You're like, oh my gosh, what is that? It's a very quick jump versus somebody banging on a wall and screaming at me to get out.
Oh yeah.
Personally, for me, I just find it annoying. But I like the theatrical presentation of it. But it's a hard tie because they both do so well. But I do agree. I don't remember who said it, but I do agree with the immersiveness of Not Scary Farm. I do enjoy how their entire park is decorated and it's not just separated into sections. So it's a toss-up for me.
Okay, so now this will help parlay into our next question. So what is the best pro haunt in your opinion? So let's go with Gian.
For me, Reign of Terror, hands down, or the Bloodshed Brothers in Temecula.
Okay, so what makes Reign of Terror so special?
Just like the immersiveness, because it's one large haunt, but there's 7 different themes scattered around. So and sometimes you don't even notice that you're stepping into a whole different theme. It just blends perfectly.
Huh, that's cool. And you said it's about 30 minutes long, right?
Yeah, 20 to 30 minutes long. I've done it 3 times.
All right, Jacob and Dave.
Hands down, Reign Terror. Reign of Terror.
Yeah, Reign of Terror for me as well.
Their minor bridge scene where the whole thing drops.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That was awesome. That was the best timed gag I had ever experienced. Even out of all the big haunts, Halloween Horror Nights and Knott's, this mine bridge that dropped was just phenomenal.
Huh.
That's so cool. So you're just standing on this bridge and it just drops while you're on it?
Yeah, you're just crossing.
Yeah, I mean, there's just this guy down at the end of the hall, and he says, "Fire in the hole," and he pulls down this plunger, and then these lights and the smoke come up from underneath, and then the bridge drops. I mean, just everything culminated to this amazing effect that just really threw me off my feet, you know?
That's so cool.
That type of stuff really is about timing, isn't it? It's getting down to the programming is going to be very specific, and that's awesome. It creates that memorable thing. Very cool.
Hey, Michael, what is your favorite pro haunt?
Again, Rain of Terror.
Rain of
The attention to detail and just how much stuff they got in there is just absolutely amazing. It's incredible. All the effects, all the set design is awesome. It's hands down one of the best.
Excellent.
So here comes the part where it's all about you guys. Do you have a haunt or a yard display this year? And tell us about it.
So we were doing an actual walkthrough. It was definitely a lot of challenges going through this year, but let's say we're one of the few doing a walkthrough, but we're confident and it's going to be safe and it's going to be wonderful. Definitely new challenges and different scenery, so.
Tell us about your haunt. So it's called?
Shadow Mountain. So it's another original.
So the whole scenery is going to be like entering our world of a mountain that we made of Shadow Mountain. So there's a legend on the mountain that you have to find out. I'm not going to really give it away just yet. But anyways, you're going to be on a trail on Shadow Mountain. So you're going to go through pine trees, you're going to go through like huge trees. You're on a hiking trail, so you see signs. And then you just come up with the history of the mines and...
There's a dark history with Shadow Mountain. Shadow Mountain was built on a mining platform. So basically, the legend that lives is the legend that you're going to live as you walk through the maze. It's kind of cool with this maze because it's like a puzzle. You start to piece things together. I think that's something different about this haunt this year that we've done. Is it's a big puzzle. As you're making your way through the event, the scenes start to change and the atmosphere starts to change, and then your brain kind of switches and you're like, wait a minute, what's going on? What did I just miss? Because now the story has completely flipped. And you're like, wait, what's going on? It's personally, I think, one of my favorite story-wise that we've created, because it's a total brain game for this one.
It's really pretty to look at.
And pretty.
Shadow Mountain Park Ranger Services, over.
Thank God, we need help, over. My name is Cassandra, we need help. Some of my friends are dead.
Ma'am, calm down. I cannot hear you, over.
I don't know what it is. It's feasting on all my friends. We tried to run away and ended up in these mine shafts, over.
Ma'am, did you take Shadow Trail, over?
Yes, please, help us.
Copy that. Can you describe this thing for me, over?
It can't be big, it can't be small. It has razor-sharp teeth and flesh-like tentacles. Please, come help us.
All right, Michael, how about you?
Yeah, so when I first started doing 1870, I wanted something simple for my first year. So I wanted something that was super generic, which was a manor, This year I'm just doing a display, obviously, because I don't want to have to deal with the reservations and all that in COVID. By the way, Corona, big shout out to you, because I know that's a real pain.
Yeah, they're the drivers, I think, for the haunt community on the reservation thing. You guys are really owning it, and really creating it.
I wouldn't recommend it. It's great because we're very confident that everybody gets their own special experience with it. So I'm very thankful for that. It's just like dealing with it and having to get it all together. I spent like 2.5 to 3 weeks just trying to figure out how to do it. I'm like, I don't even know what I'm doing right now. Like, how am I supposed to get this together? But we're very confident that it's going to work, and the virtual line itself is super easy. So, like, hopefully,
Well, give everybody a chance to go see it.
Yeah, I wanted to make sure. Well, we wanted to make sure everybody got the chance to experience it. So that was the goal. That was the goal behind it.
So 1870, you decided not to go that route, and you came up with a Haunt Manor or a yard display for your haunt.
So I wanted to just do something. I don't want to go dark. Also, the main reason was because the facade or things that I make this year can be repurposed, for a bigger event or possibly, going pro or something like that. So I wanted to, do that this year, so I don't just go dark and not do anything.
Yeah, that's great.
I love that. That's awesome. How about Jacob and Dave?
Usually we do our normal walkthrough, but this year since COVID, we had to completely change it around. So back in like March when this whole thing struck, we were like, oh, it's not going to hit Halloween. Like, we won't have to change it. And then like it got around to like August and July, we're like, oh shoot, like Knott's and Horror Nights are closing down. Like, what are we going to do? And then, we just started thinking like, what are we going to do? So we started thinking about like doing a whole story, the origin story. And we had to come up with a story, and we had to figure out how to implement elements we already had from previous years of the haunt into the story we are making. So we didn't even know the origin story before we had the original haunt. So we kind of just had to make it up as we went along.
Props to you guys for not giving up when other people were giving up. And then we had to give up, and I was chatting with Mason about that, and I was like, no, because we actually had Mason helping us come up with the safety protocols for the Creepy Real event, because we thought, oh, for sure we're going to do this. It's an outdoor thing. Like, we can make this happen. So, yeah, we understand the struggle. Dave, did you have something you wanted to add?
And props to Corona, because I did not want to do reservation this year. Like, no way I was doing that.
Yeah, we didn't want to do reservations. We didn't want to deal with cars, coming in and stopping and trying to get them to move out. So we figured, yard display and having people just stand on our sidewalk, it's going to be roped off was the way to go, But it's really a high-end yard display. We've got 2 different video screens. We've got DMX lighting. We've got fog effects, water effects, fire effects,
air cannons,
wow.
So, and then we have actors coming out, acting out parts of the story, so it's been quite a challenge, a lot of new technology to learn, Previous years, we kind of had 4 different rooms in the Pirates cave, so we'd have 4 different controllers, right? This year we have 1 controller running the whole show, and every output, the video, the audio, projectors and fog machines. And so it's been a challenge learning that and implementing it and testing it. And he's done great. He edited the video and he's programmed the DMX lights. And it's been great to see him really take ownership of it.
Now, did you guys not have a controller in the past? You did it all manually?
We had 4 different controllers, like peekaboo controllers. So each room had its own controller, and it would be activated by a certain, switch. But this presentation, just 1 big controller running everything.
That's so awesome. And over to Gian.
So we're going to be announcing here for Haunters Hall that we're going to be doing a yard display. Our theme's going to be classic Halloween. Just kind of like taking it old school, just simple facade and like cheap like 90s props, something like that. Yeah, we're actually almost going to go dark this year, but I was bugging my parents like, hey, can we do a yard display at least? because they told me, yeah, there's no way people are gonna go through the garage. Like,
Yeah.
Congrats,
since March,
man.
yeah.
That sounds so awesome.
I remember that was a discussion that you were struggling with. Like, I want to do something. I think that's great for me. For everybody who's mentioned what they're doing, it's so easy during this time, and early on from spring to the summer, we're like, when is this going to end? To just say, well, there's a certain level that I want to have my experience, my maze, or whatever. And if I can't reach that, you want to do it right and have people experience it the right way. But there's also that thing of, I want to keep going, and we want to stay present and stay relevant. And I love to do it. So we're going to go out there and create anything because this is what I do.
All right, so what do people need to know before attending each of your yard displays or haunts? So, Michael, do you want to go first?
Yeah. I'd just say this: feel free to get down. Take pictures. Obviously, at a safe distance. Wear a mask. It doesn't have to be a drive-by. I think if we're packing people, well, not packing people, but if we're opening restaurants and all that in a safe manner, I think it's okay to get down, and be close to the display. And yeah, I don't think it has to be a drive-by thing,
Okay.
Nice.
Excellent.
How about you, Mason and Joe?
Just the same thing. Social distance, wear a mask.
Please.
Don't crowd. It's just the common sense at this point. It's with the same rules that we're implementing at grocery stores and other places, same thing apply here. And I'm more on the side of just be respectful. Respect what all these other haunts are implementing. Because I know some haunts have different rules, and I think it's more of just have the respect and expect that there are some different rules for some different haunts. But yeah, for ours, it's definitely just social distance and, wear a mask and come out and experience. It's, have fun.
Can you talk a little bit about the access?
We will be having a virtual line every night. So this is kind of going to work the same as the reservation system. It takes you to the same website that we were using. You basically come up to the attraction. We'll have a QR code sign out in the front. You'll basically pull out your camera on your phone, scan it, and then it'll take you automatically to that website. On the website, you'll put your name, how many are in your group, and your phone number. Basically, when you send that through, you'll get an automated text that will be you've joined the line for Shadow Mountain. This is your place in line. You can click this link to find where you are. It'll show you the estimated wait time. And it goes pretty much from there. So basically, when I start checking people off the list, it'll send notifications to each person when it's their turn to come through. So when say a group leaves and the next person is, whether it's a reservation or a virtual line, because it runs on the same system, you'll click whoever is next. It'll send them a notification, be like, oh, it's your turn. They'll go through, next person, notification, oh, come through. So it sounds easy.
Advising people to wait in the car, though.
Yeah, we are advising people to wait off of the property, just so we don't encourage that gathering aspect. That's what we're really trying to stay away from.
And then how about Pirates Cave? Anything people need to expect?
People just need to know it's not a walkthrough this year. It's a display, 10-minute show. We're running 6 nights, the 23rd, 24th, 25th, 30th, 31st, and November 1st from 7 to 10. Masks are required, and you have to stay socially distanced along the sidewalk.
You guys all have really good ideas about safety protocols, which I think makes anyone feel comfortable. So congrats to you guys for stepping up your game and making it happen this year.
Yeah, one of the fellows we were talking to referred to this year as the year of the home haunt.
Yes.
I think he's right, because I think there's going to be a big desire for something Halloween, because this is like the first holiday since everybody's been locked up. I think people are just dying to get out to do something, and Halloween is going to be it. So it'll be interesting to see how many people come out for these events.
It's awesome. I loved hearing all this because I think what you guys are doing, this whole home haunt thing is a kind of the convergence of story and technology. And when you can harness both and really make it the best and keep upping that, I love hearing the passion that everybody has for that stuff.
Okay, so tell us, what tell us a fun fact about your haunt or yard display this year.
I have an 18-foot facade, so that's
Yes,
good.
the one that we've seen on social media. It looks so awesome.
Wow, looks good.
How long did it take you to build that?
By myself,
By yourself.
2 months.
Wow. So where are you going to store it when you're done? Because I know you said you want to use it again.
We're thinking of renting a small warehouse possibly after October. We're renting a big storage locker. Yeah, because after this year, we're going to do some bigger stuff, so stay tuned.
Oh, we can't wait.
Yeah.
How about Pirate's Cave? What's a fun fact? Where do you guys store everything?
Yeah, it's funny. That's the number one question we get. I don't know about you guys, man. It's like if people come to experience a haunt, the first question is, where do you store all this stuff? You know, that's the first thing they ask. But it's interesting. Our stuff's all mostly, say about 70% of it, 75% of it is up in our attic. And I'm just waiting for some of that stuff to just come crashing through our
You
dining
must
room.
have a very large
Yeah.
attic. It's the only way, right?
Yeah, you can stand in sections of it, so we're fortunate and just had to put a bunch of plywood down, and we had to cut a hole in the garage so that we can send stuff through the garage, you know, as opposed to come up through the bedroom closet, you know, so we had to make some adjustments, but it's worked out, but we need a shed, though. We need to eventually get a shed here.
And a fun fact from last year is he's not worried about all the stuff coming down from the attic. Somebody actually fell down from the attic last year. It might have been me. Yeah.
Fell through the
I
attic.
shouldn't be laughing.
Not all the way through. He's about halfway through. His legs were dangling to the
You get a
ceiling.
picture?
You know,
Are we?
no, I didn't get a picture. You know. It's kind of like Christmas Vacation, you know, where you fall through the attic there. That was him.
That's awesome. Oh my gosh, you guys.
One of the cool fun facts this year is we are actually getting custom-made masks for our haunt. So the masks that you actually are going to see are being created specifically for the situation we are in, but they are designed to the point where it is not noticeable. So the character is still in its full character without any interruption.
Pretty big mask.
They're very large masks. The largest we've ever have used in a haunt before. I think another fun fact, or I guess surprise fact, is we're actually trying new scare techniques this year. So we figured this year would be the year to, shoot a little blueprint out and see what happens. So we'll see how that goes.
All right, you guys. So tell me, how and where did you guys get your skills to build your sets, and how long did it take?
It's a lot of failure, honestly. It's a lot of out late nights when you have school the next day and just cutting wood and just failing, making sure it's it's a big learning process, honestly. Last year I was barely learning how to use a jigsaw. Now I'm using all the different tools and stuff like that, so it's a process, honestly.
And no one taught you. You taught yourself.
No one in my family knows how to do this stuff, so.
Oh, wow.
So cool. Dion, how about you?
For the panels, I got some panels gifted to me from Zion from Twisted Dreams Haunt, and
Nice.
The panels that I'm building now, I'm kind of using the old panels as blueprints for my new panels, and also because everything I build stuff I have I barely go out buy wood. I don't have as much of a budget as you guys do. I see you guys always at Home Depot buying the good strong wood, when you guys would see me digging in the discard pile in the back with the purple paint on it.
Oh yeah, I've bought lots of that stuff. Yeah,
That's the way to go, honestly.
yeah.
It's
So
good.
in the section at Home Depot, you can buy discount wood.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
it's kind of messed up, maybe cracks, holes, kind of curved, wonky wood. 70% off.
Okay, so
Yeah.
Yes.
viewers who are watching this, FYI, if you want to leave a tip for these guys, a Home Depot gift card will go a really long way.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing that I always underestimate is how much money I'm going to spend at Home Depot. Though, even when you're buying the discarded wood, there's just all the other stuff too. You tend to ignore that in your budget, and then you just go, "Oh my gosh, I've spent $300 at Home Depot." You know, it's like you didn't plan on it.
Spray foam also takes a lot of your money.
Yeah, spray foam.
That's the dedication of a concert right there.
Plus, you also get lucky because a lot of panels that I have, I found 6 panel, full 8x4 panels in the discard pile. And I was like all like shocked, like, are these actually like discard panels? And we were walking out of Home Depot, and like everyone's looking at us like, did they get that from the discard pile? And a panel that's normally $25, we got it for $6.
Wow. This is a whole new world that I never even knew about, this discount panel thing. I guess it would help if I was doing home haunts, but you learn something new every day. That's awesome.
Without that pile, I would have doubled my Home Depot budget, if not triple, you know?
Yeah, because sometimes you need a small piece, and instead of buying the big, long piece, you just get a small piece from the discard pile.
Yeah.
So Pirates Cave, how did you guys learn how to build yours?
For me, it's like what Mike was saying, a lot of failure. I didn't have anybody that could really tell me how to, build panels or build with wood, so a lot of trial and error there. But regards to painting, I've got a friend that paints a lot of props for a company that rents them out for big parties. Yeah, he did a lot of work for Queen Mary Dark Harbor, in fact. His name is Rich Guerrero. He's a neighbor, of ours and a friend. And we just get him to come over, and he will paint up stuff for us. And then I learned from him, just watching him, how to dry brush stuff and use different techniques. So he was real key to learning how to paint and decorate, not necessarily the building, but the painting aspect.
That's cool. And how about you guys at Corona Haunt?
A lot of failure, self-taught, and the help of other haunter friends.
Yeah.
It was like about everything.
I think we actually would build from the ground up. We wouldn't even build with panels. We started panels, I believe, in 18.
Yeah.
We would actually go from the ground up, piece by piece by piece by piece. And we started going to Murder House Productions haunts. They would always invite us over and check out their stuff. And I'm looking and I'm like, these are pre-built. And she's like, well, yeah, like, what is yours? And I was like, we're building from the ground up. Like, what? And then in 18, when we did Scarecrow, we started building these panels, and we still use those panels from Scarecrow with the new wood on them for every year now. I mean, they're gonna start wearing down soon, but the panels themselves is, I think, the easiest way to be a home haunter is like you just pop them up, and go. Like it just goes up so quickly. I think the failures was a lot with wood, though. When we first started building with wood, we could not figure out, like, I was like, I don't even know what we're doing. Like, are we going to hit a nail into this? Are we going to screw something into this? How are we going to get it to stand up?
You live and learn. Like,
yeah,
it's the whole process.
Now we're cutting zigzags and things and sending things to the moon, basically.
Measure twice, cut once.
Yeah.
All right, so the next question, what are your favorite types of effects to use, and what would you want to see from a haunt?
My personal favorite effects to see are the boo box scares, like Mason was saying, the lights and the audio. Those are so effective, and like you said, they're so theatrical compared to like Knott's, how they have an actor banging on a wall. It's like Knott's needs to use more of that, and if they did, it would be like no doubt an instant favorite for Knott's. But Horror Nights, that's where they have it, is they have those boo box scares, and they're perfect, and that's my favorite effect, and I like when I see them at other haunts. So it's like when you have a Peekaboo, which is a programming box where you can program a sequence, and it integrates a flashing strobe and a sound effect when the actor either hits a button or hits a foot switch or something like that. So when they pop out, they have lights shining on them, and they have a noise, so they don't have to use their voice.
And my favorites are really good, well put together practical effects. And our best example is we had seen on Fright Props this thing called a squishy bridge. This bridge that you walked across and it was squishy, but they wanted like, I don't know, it was like $1,000 for this thing. And it's like, I bet you we could build something like that. So we built this bridge with planks, you know. They were tied together with safety belt straps. And we went to a thrift store and got infant mattresses, baby mattresses. And these planks were laid across these infant mattresses, and they had handlebars. And they would go across this bridge, and of course it was very unsteady and all, you know, but it was on the ground, but unsteady. And people just loved that. They just commented over and over about that bridge and how much they loved it. And it was such a cheap, easy, simple thing to do, you know, and it had a great payoff to it.
And you don't really see it a lot in our videos or walkthroughs on YouTube, because they're looking at the octopus scene, which is in our garage. They don't notice that people are actually walking on that bridge too, which even adds more to the scene. Yeah. But it's not. Unless you're actually at the haunt, you don't see it.
Right. We have a friend that actually built the bridge up about 4 feet, and he was talking about how much work it was and dangerous it was. And he saw our bridge, and he just like lost his mind, just saying, "I'm doing this next year. Forget my huge bridge, you know, and this is way better."
I give you guys the award for best creativity with going to a thrift store to buy infant mattresses.
Yeah.
That's pretty genius that you guys thought of that.
We were going to do it with noodles, you know.
Oh, cool.
And I calculated how much noodles were going to cost, and it was going to be like $100 in noodles. And we got these 2 mattresses for maybe like $5 each or something like that, and they are just perfect, the perfect size, perfect width, and all.
That's creativity at its finest, for sure.
Again, that's all that trial and error, and the more that when people share, then there's inspiration that comes out of that. Like, do you guys also kind of consume podcasts or YouTube content of other people who are building stuff and learn from that? And that's a lot of also how you might, you're self-taught, but at the same time you're getting some tips from like, oh, they did this way. Yeah. So great.
Yeah, we implemented this fire ember effect where you take orange Halloween lights and staple them to a piece of wood. Then you put the spray foam on top of it, you know, on top of the lights.
Oh, right.
And then you paint it up, and you turn those lights on, and they glow red, and it looks like fire embers, you know. And we got that from YouTube, which is a great idea.
Great.
Well, that's cool. Hey, Mason and Joe, how about you guys? What's your favorite effect to use or to see at a haunt?
Mine's a combination of lighting and smells and physical props. So actually, scares for me is actually one of the last things, even though we use the strobe, which I love too. But for me, it's always the physical sets, the props, and lighting. So it comes together so beautifully for me. So
I like fire. Love fire. Obviously not in the haunt. For shows, I'm trying to dive deeper into some of the shows that next year I think I really want to dive into something like what Pirates Cave is doing. How after seeing some of their stuff and talking with them, I'm just in awe with everything that they're doing. I want to go deeper with our shows because I'm a sucker for like in person, like, oh, look at the fire, like, oh, like you take me to Disneyland and I'm only going to want to go to see the fireworks because I'm all about like just that like atmospheric element. But inside haunts, I think is the same as Joe. I'm a sucker for really good lighting and scents, because scents, when you smell something, it puts you into that place. Just like with Sweet Tooth last year, as soon as you smelled that cotton candy, you're like, whoa, now I know where I am. So those are the best things, I think, for sure.
All right, Michael, back to you.
It's not going to be like a electrical effect or effect, we're talking about. It's going to be forced perspective. I don't know if you ever. So like the Disneyland castle and the castle that they have, they look a lot taller than they actually are because the way they're painted and the way they're built. I don't know if you know about Main Street in Anaheim. The buildings get smaller as you go down the street, so it looks a lot longer, and I just really like that.
Yeah, that's a great theatrical tactic. It's a tactic for, in theater, but movies is where that came from. And yeah, it's great when you can harness that and do it the right way.
How about you, Gian? Effects.
There is one practical effect that I saw that they did at HHN where like the scene's dark and like you could kind of see what's going on, but there's like these little like almost invisible wires hanging down, and like you're just walking, you just feel things touching your face, and like you don't know what it is. And also, I think it's called a crackle stick or a boomstick, where I heard that they break easily, so people don't use them as much. But like, it's just like electricity sparks, just like loud, kind of like when you're igniting a grill, just the clicking noise.
Yeah.
But louder in a dark, scary environment. That always gets me every time.
I can vouch, they suck. They suck. Overpriced and never work. We had to buy 2 for Sweet Tooth because we bought one and it worked for 5 minutes and fried.
Ah.
And they're what, like $270? They're pricey. I was very disappointed to find it fried after less than 5 minutes of use.
Oh.
Yeah, those are not on the list.
Or the other thing, air cannons and the claustrophobia tunnel.
Wait, what's a claustrophobia tunnel?
Oh, I went. Reign of Terror has it. My dad hates it. Where like, it's just pitch black, 2 huge bags just squeezing you in the middle, and you just have to like press through.
That's awesome, you guys. All right, so the next question: what is your favorite place to buy props, and or do you build them all by hand?
We have a friend that operates a company called Abracadaver, and we've gotten all our skeletons from him. His name is Larry Carr. He's the same guy that builds the skeletons in the Indiana Jones ride at Disneyland. So you'll notice our skeletons are the same. So that's about the only place we've really bought props from. The rest of the time we'll take that prop and then we'll build something around it. We build our own sets and a lot of our own props. Like if you go to our Instagram page, we built this head that you can throw at someone and it comes back. It's on a bungee cord, so it's perfect for social distancing.
Oh, I saw it.
You
fun, you guys.
Because we were thinking about buying it, like, we don't have any more money to buy something like that. It was going to cost us a bunch of money.
$200.
Yeah, $225 for something like that. I was like, but I really want one. How can we make that? And I said, I bet you there's got to be some kind of sports trainer, And we found this thing for training volleyball people. You put the waistband around, and it has a bungee cord, and it has this wrap that goes around your volleyball. So instead of wrapping around a volleyball, we did wrap around a volleyball, but then we put a mask over it, and then glued it in, and now we have this head prop that you can throw at someone, and it comes back, and it's great. It's a great scare.
So awesome. Gian, you said you had one that you wanted to share.
A lot of my props I get is actually from OfferUp or Craigslist, and a lot of the body parts I have, I actually bought from Hellsire Cemetery during their February sale.
Oh, wow. So they have a sale every year?
No, they're a home haunt here in Rancho, and in February they said, we're not doing a haunt, we're going dark. So everyone crashed their place at 6 in the morning just to buy everything.
How about you guys, Corona?
I think so. A lot of our props we actually hand make. We love to make like everything that goes into our mazes. We try to do ourselves. That way, it makes it a little bit more creative, and it does. You don't walk through and you go, hey, that's that thing from Home Depot. Oh, hey, I saw that at Target. That's we do buy things from different prop stores. It depends.
We scavenge through,
but we typically turn it into something else. So we'll get it and then we'll turn it into something else. Kind of like just a basic skeleton when we did, I think, Silent Hill in 17. about just a random skeleton. I was like, oh, we'll just throw it in the maze. And then I was like, wait, let's spray foam this, and then let's latex it, and then let's just dump a bunch of stuff on it and see what happens. Now we have a burnt skeleton. So it's just really cool to like make your own props. And I think the only props that we've really bought is from Fright Props, which is just the controllers, which I don't consider a prop. So like, I think a lot of our stuff is handmade, which is cool.
It's scavenged for like furniture pieces and like if I see something on sale or thrift shopping, I just get what I want. I just build together in my head whatever it is, and yeah, it just comes out magically sometimes.
So the big prop this year that I keep hearing on the radio is this 12-foot skeleton from Home
11.
Depot. So it's 11 feet? Sorry, my bad.
Yeah.
So we're not going to see that at any of your guys' yard displays or haunts this year, are we? No, see? I was on the Haunters Hangout Facebook group last night, and I also saw that somebody took one of those 12-foot skeletons and like basically just covered it, I think, with dirt or something, and then somehow melted parts of it, so it looked really creepy. So I thought that was really cool, but I guess right now you can't even find that skeleton online anywhere. But we will make sure we will see it at everybody else's house but yours. So good props to you guys. Props, no pun intended. For you guys coming up with creative ways of doing this and not using those store-bought 12 or 11-foot skeletons from Home Depot.
You should know someone here in Rancho that bought one of the 11-foot skeletons from Home Depot. It's Sam's Lot, 3 blocks away from Hellsire, and he actually swamped it instead of corpsing it like how everyone does with their prop skeletons. He kind of like swamped it.
What's a swamp? What's swamping?
Kind of like he did. It's kind of like corpsing, but like wettier, like a kind of ghillie suit style, kind of like coming out of like a dirty swamp with like leaves coming down.
Oh, that's cool. Nice effect. Where will we find you guys in the future? So besides this year, where can we find you guys? Will we see you next year at our expo? Will we see you at Midsummer Scream? Will we see you next year with a haunt or a yard display? I know this year has given us quite a bit. Next year is very unknown with where this coronavirus is going, but where can we hopefully find you guys next year? So let's start with Pirates Cave.
We'll be here again. Hoping to do you guys' expo next year, definitely. But we have some ideas for next year. If we do a walkthrough, we have some big things to do. We want to maybe expand a little bit. I don't know. That's all I'll say. But yeah, that's where we have planned for next year. So
yeah, at the end of last year, we had started negotiations with our neighbor to try to use a little bit of their yard to expand, and it didn't come to fruition this year, but that's still in the works, possibly.
You mean they didn't allow you guys to expand onto their yard?
Yeah, we got great neighbors surrounding us, so I think they'll consider it. But they did get a new gate, so that might decrease our chances.
How about you, Michael? Where will we see you in the future?
Next year, who knows? Obviously at Creeper Reel,
Yes.
2021. I'm excited for that. I don't know if I'm doing a home haunt next year. I might new locations. That's still in the works, so I'm not sure.
Keep up.
How about you, Gian Bellos?
Same as Pirates, just staying home, like just staying here, hopefully being able to go set up at Creeper Reel Expo next year. We'll just see how everything plays off, if we could actually build and take and set up a haunt at your location and make a fully functional haunt over here.
Nice.
That sounds so fun. We can't wait, you guys. How about you guys, Corona Haunt?
Definitely coming to the expo next year, obviously. You've got me and Joe stuck on your side now, so can't get rid of us.
That's not the first time we would see you, right? Are you going to be doing something for the holidays?
I think we're going to go with the Christmas show again, which is our light show. I think we're going to implement our projections as well this time instead of just lighting. But I think future-wise, next year we're definitely still going to be in Corona. Next year will be like our big going out year, because we will not be at this location after next year.
Meaning you want to expand, right?
We will be moving into hopefully a larger location.
Next year will be your farewell tour.
Yeah. So hopefully that is the goal next year after basically saying goodbye to this area.
Yeah.
Hopefully moving on to something bigger.
Yeah. Great.
That's been the goal the whole time, though. So we're finally getting around to it.
You guys, do you have anything you want to share or reveal to our audience that they don't know but would be dying to know? Pirates Cave.
Yeah, we have a video that we wanted to share with you. It's a teaser. We show off our storyteller, the character that tells the story of the Pirates Cave origins. We have a little teaser including him.
Psst, avast there. Ye come seeking the origins of the Pirates Cave, eh? Well, you've come to the proper place. The tale you're about to be told is not for the faint of heart.
So cool, you guys. Nice job on that one.
Great work on effects. That's awesome. What's
So he does storytell. He gives you the story of the Pirates Cave. You know, it's a 6-minute story that we wrote ourselves, and the whole program is based off of this guy telling you the origins of the Pirates Cave.
So cool. Great job.
All right, Corona Haunt.
I would say our scares. I'll say one scare. We're coming from actually different angles this year. That's all I'm gonna say.
Some of the blueprints we decided to test out this year, I think, are going to work out pretty well. Definitely very unexpected.
Excellent.
I won't give it too much away, but yeah, we're working on different techniques. So we're excited.
And Gian, I know that you've been anxiously wanting to share something.
So as you guys know, I have this other event account that I have, which is called SoCal Scares, and I am planning to do a different thing with it. So it's going to be called SoCal Scares Haunts, where we're going to be touring all across Southern California, visiting different haunts and covering on them. So you guys will see works from Corona Haunt, Hellsire, hopefully Reichland Asylum in Riverside, different places all across Southern California. We're going to try our best to hit the most we can and cover everything and at its fullest.
Excellent.
Nice. We're so excited. And if you guys didn't know, Midsummer Scream is also a supporter of SoCal Scares. So.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you so much, you guys, for giving us all your time today. We appreciate everything that you guys are doing for your haunt community, for your Halloween community, for the spooky community. If it weren't for you guys, this year wouldn't be happening. You guys are making Halloween happen. You guys are the future of haunts and all things amazing and creative for Halloween and haunt and horror community. So thank you guys for what you're doing, honestly, from the bottom of our hearts. And we are so excited to see everything you guys have going on this year. So thank you.
Yeah, thanks for the exposure. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, and we're done. You guys were awesome. You guys all did really, really good.
Excellent. That was really great.